Hello, Delaware County. Michael Blake here, New York State Assembly member and DNC Vice Chair. I really wish I could be with you tonight, but we're here in Albany and we're engaged in our budget negotiations, which I'll dive into a little bit in a moment. First, I want to acknowledge your county party chairman, David Landau. Thank you for your leadership. Congressman Brady, always great to see you as a public servant. Remember being able to work with you in 2008 when we were there for the primary. To your statewide judicial candidates, to your county and municipal candidates as well, to all my colleagues in government, to all of you, all the Democrats that are in the room, I'm grateful for you. We're grateful for you. We're going to be able to make sure we're building a better Democratic Party, not just in Delaware County, not just in Pennsylvania, but across the state because of you. I apologize for not being able to be with you tonight for your FDR-JFK dinner. As I mentioned, we're here in Albany as we continue our budget negotiations, a similar impasse that you all experienced in Harrisburg as well. But we're committed to fighting for our communities. Briefly, I represent the most diverse county in America in the Bronx, and we're constantly pushing for more funding for education and making sure our schools get the support that they need, and social services for all the seniors that are there. The first senior center in the country is actually in our district, and making sure we continue to push forward to make life safer and more affordable. Right now we're pushing to change the laws in New York so that children are not treated as adults in criminal court. New York and North Carolina are the only two states in the country where 16 and 17-year-olds are still tried as adults. So it's something we're pushing to change. And it's precisely why we have to have Democratic legislators who are not afraid to take on these tough issues. And that's why I can't be with you tonight. And I'm hoping to be able to be with you in person very soon. We have to start winning again, everybody. We have to be focused and building on the ground. We can't just be a party that is focused on having a president at the White House. It's the president of the school boards, president of city council. But it's also about who's the speaker, not just in D.C., but the speaker of your legislators. Think about this. 8 years ago, we had 28 governor seats. We had full control in 17 states. Today, we only have 16 governorships and control in only 6 states. We have to pick up 24 House seats to get the majority back in 2018. So we have to keep pushing. We have to be engaged on the ground. We have to make sure that you have the tools necessary so we get more people to go and vote at the polls so we can build our bench and take back our state governments. This cannot be and will not be a party. Under Chairman Perez, it will not be a party that's just engaged every 4 years. We have to make sure we're putting in the work now. Otherwise, Republicans are going to have control when we get ready for redistricting in 2020 for further gerrymandering. We cannot allow that to occur. So that means Democrats, we have to have a broad representation across the country and make sure that we take advantage of this moment of stepping up so that we're not waiting to 2020 to be involved. Why we lost in 2016? Because we weren't investing in you. We need to invest in the county party. We have to invest on the ground. We got to invest in state-based organizers so that we can send out, make sure we have volunteers on the ground. Democrats have put forth the time and the energy and the resources to build a sustainable infrastructure, but we have to have your back. We're going to be with you, and that's why we're so committed right now. This is a new leadership team in the DNC. That means hiring full-time staff, including organizers, and organizers that understand what's going on the ground, not just people from out of state who may not understand what's going on. We have to make sure we're engaging with you in all of your elections, not just the presidential election. We rely too heavily just on data without understanding the feedback on the ground from you, from the people who live in these communities and work in these communities to understand the nuances that are there. So what do we have to do? We got to get people elected to school board, all the way from school board to Senate. We have to make sure we're not just focusing on the White House every 4 years, I mentioned, but we have to be focusing every single day. We can't just come and talk to the base 3 weeks before an election. What are we going to do now? The best way we do this is through party organizing, organizing from the grassroots on up, getting back to our basics. Our new chairman, Tom Perez, he gets it. He was an organizer himself. He was a county official, city councilman in Montgomery in Maryland. He understands and says all the time, we need every zip code strategy to be the case. We have to work with our allied groups, our friends in the labor movement, Planned Parenthood, faith leaders, grassroots leaders, to bring strong parties and make sure that's how we come back and we build in this very way. Look, 2016 wasn't a wave for Donald Trump. We have to make sure we move and get our people to come out and say, we don't just want you to vote against the other guys, we want you to vote for us. Victory isn't out of our reach. Think about this. 2016, we won the popular vote by 3 million votes. But why did we lose the election? We lost in the Electoral College because in Pennsylvania, we lost by 44,000 votes. That's about 5 votes per precinct, everybody. In Wisconsin, that's 22,700 votes. We lost by 6 votes per precinct. Michigan, we lost by 10,700 votes. That's 2 votes per precinct. Think about this. Every single one of you know of 5 people that could have gone out to vote, 6 people, 2 people. And we have to make sure we get people involved. And it's making sure we get not just our base across the board, but very specifically, look at our millennials. About a half of our millennials, 18 to 29 years old, who are the largest voting bloc we have in the country right now, didn't vote in 2016. In 2014, it was only about 20%. One study showed that in the median age for mayoral elections is about 60 years old. It means we're not engaging young people. It means that we're not showing them reasons to get involved in the election. But we know that they want to be involved. Look at the women's march that's been happening. Look at the resistance that's been happening across the country. Young people want to be involved. I'm a millennial. I want to be involved, but we have to get engaged right now. But we have to be better also with our message. Our message has to be one that reaches all Americans. We have to find ways to bring everyone into the fold and make sure we stand up, because Americans are hungry for us to stand up and to fight for them. They want to hear our message as Democrats. With all the nonsense going on with the Trump administration, we have to push back against the disastrous start that they're having right now. Think about today. They changed the rules, everyone, to get a Supreme Court justice. That is not the country we want to be in. That's not the democracy that we want to have. We have to make sure that people understand that we're here for them, we're fighting for them, that we're the party that's going to give them a voice and give them opportunity in so many different ways. So look, when we think about what we're trying to do, it's understanding that there's a responsibility here. It's understanding that, we can't just say, hey, we just hope you vote against the other guys and hope that it works out in that way. No, we have to say very clearly that we're going to stand up for women. We're going to stand up for communities of color. We're going to stand up for young people. We're going to stand up for all these different efforts in all these different ways. When there's a Muslim ban, you should stand up and say it's wrong. When there's a ban against the Latino community, we have to stand up and say it's wrong. When people attack women, you don't have to be a woman to say you stand up and say that's wrong. We have to be here to demonstrate that we're doing these things to fight for our community. Why? There's an incredible energy that's out there. It's an appetite for a message of economic fairness, and a political party that shares our values of the middle class, that we're the ones that fight for the working class, a party that embraces diversity and inclusion and equity and representation, a democratic party that stands for the rights of the people to fight for the American dream. That's our party. We are the party that fights for everyone else, that fights for all people. We have a message. We have the values. And I'm not just saying this because I believe in this theoretically. I'm optimistic about the future of our party because Democrats are standing up right now, not just in Delaware County, not just in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but all across our country. We are a united party right now. We are a united party that says we have to move forward in the right direction. Now, we can't be led just from D.C. No, we need people to be involved all across the country. That means Democrats have to unite and say, you know what, I want to be a part of what's happening in our country and in our communities in a very real way. The DNC is already working to engage in a very concrete way. Number one, we're prioritizing small dollar fundraising because it can't just be about the big dollars coming on in. It has to make sure the grassroots are a part of this. Number two, we're seeking new talent from outside Washington to ensure a full range of geographic and identity that's diverse of all different perspectives. We want you to come in and work for us. You are interested in working? Send in your resume and bio to transition2017@dnc.org. Number three, we want to make sure that grassroots and the supporting local efforts have training because we're hearing this from a lot of you, that people want training on message and on fundraising and on knocking on doors and making phone calls. And so we have to be a part of that. That's our job, to make sure the DNC is doing that for you. The Democratic Party is the oldest political party in the country. And we've shaped and ensured the course of the nation for decades, for centuries. Look, the Democratic Party is a party that'll make sure that other people have an opportunity to grow. We want to be real clear. Look at some of the things that we've been able to do and the greatness that has happened from people that invested even when times were difficult. President Clinton, for example, he ran for Congress in 1974. He lost. He ran for Attorney General. Then he ran for governor. We know the great track record that he had. When you think about before she was in Congress and before becoming the first speaker in the state house, Nancy Pelosi was a DNC member, a state party chair in California, a finance chair for the DSCC. She understood the efforts being engaged. Before, he was a leader in the Senate and our Senate Democratic leader now. Chuck Schumer started in New York State Assembly, which I'm in right now. Then he went to Congress and continued to move forward. And President Obama, the remarkable leader we just had as our president, was a community organizer. He was a state senator. Then he was a United States senator, and we know what happened thereafter. He became one of the most transformational presidents in our country. That's why we say local elections matter. It matters what happens on the ground. It matters when you stay engaged. Delaware County, it starts with you. That's the reason why we're so invested. That's the reason why we're so committed. That's why we believe in you. Local elections are key to the future of your community, of your county, of your Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, all across our country. Democrats, surprisingly, despite us having the numbers there, we've never held a county office in Delaware County, despite outnumbering the Republicans. That means we have to organize. We have to have people power. We have to be supported and sustained and have to have your back. 2017 is going to be a big year for Delaware County. It's going to be a big year for Democrats. County council race, controller, sheriff, register of wills, a seat on the Common Pleas Court, all up for election. We have to treat 2017 as seriously as we treat 2020. We can't just talk about 2020 without being focused in 2017. Why? Because if we want success in 2018, you got to build in 2017. You want success in 2019, you got to build in 2017. You want to make sure we get Donald Trump out of office in 2020 and take back what we've been moving forward, then we have to be successful in Delaware County in 2017. So we close by saying this. This moment is a moment, but we have to go from being a moment to a movement. See, Democrats, we've been seeing our numbers grow. We've been seeing the energy. We've been seeing the momentum happening. And we now have to take the next steps of ensuring that we continue this momentum growing across our country, across our communities, across our cities. The vision of our party is a stronger party, a vision for leadership for tomorrow, which we talked about all throughout the campaign. It starts with you. So I look forward to joining with you in the near future and understanding that we have a lot more we need to do, but the DNC is here to fight with you, to stand with you, to build with you. We have to be united right now. Look, this is our opportunity, Democrats, to do something greater, to do something stronger, to really change the game in a transformational way. So when we think about this, we don't have the luxury of being divided. We're not Obama Democrats. We're not Bernie Democrats. We're not Hillary Democrats. We are the United Democratic Party. We're the Democratic Party of Delaware County. We're the Democratic Party of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We are the Democratic Party that's going to rebuild and resist and make sure we remove Donald Trump in 2020, but change the game in 2017. Much love, everyone. If I can ever be helpful, please drop me a line, blakem@dnc.org, blakem@dnc.org. Follow us on Twitter at MrMikeBlake or at The Democrats, or our Twitter handles. And again, if you want to join our movement, it's time to join with us right now. This is our time. This is our time. This is our time to rebuild the Democratic Party. Thank you, everybody.